Hola a todos! So today we are going to be looking at an introduction to L3 Spanish, and as part of this we will look at L3 itself, how you can organise it, what the expectations are in terms of the policy and in terms of the level of language. We'll look at some ideas about how this can be developed, and then we will look at some aspects of language, so greetings, saying how are you, saying your name, numbers, simple opinions, to give you a bit of a base to get started with developing the language yourself. Okay, vamos, let's go. So all of the vocabulary we'll look at today is also included in a vocabulary pack which I sent out and which is also available on the L3 section of the 1+2 East Lothian website. And this includes some things that you could use for pupils, so a little front cover, a yo puedo, I can sheet, and those are blank, so you could fill those in yourself. It's a Word document, so you could just amend it. I've put in a couple of examples here. Say hello, I say my name, count to 10 in Spanish, but you could add these in, or the kids could add them in. It's got pronunciation rules of Spanish as well, so just a basic guide to the pronunciation, and then all the vocabulary. And again, you could print these out, give them to pupils, or just keep it for yourself to keep yourself right with the language. So the key thing to know about this is really that there is a lot of flexibility in how the language can be developed. And this can be developed, for example, in line with the topic that you might be looking at. So you could actually organise your L3 through your programme of topics in either P5, P6 and P7. It could link to your class interest, so they might be interested in a particular language or culture. So for example, they want to know about Japan or Mexico. It could be linked to your own skill set. So if you yourself speak a language, quite often people will say that you maybe learn German at school and they would like a chance to be able to develop that. So it can be linked to your own skills as well, or your own interests. So for example, you may be interested in Spanish. So there's quite a lot of flexibility in terms of how you would organise this. And it doesn't need to be the same language at every stage. So for example, you could develop Spanish in P5 and then you could look at Russian or Mandarin or Japanese or whatever it might be in P6, and then German, for example, in P7. So it can be different languages at different stages of P5, 6 and 7. So it's a really flexible model which can be developed year on year. One of the things, if you're going down that route, it's just about really making sure that you have some kind of clear rationale as to why you're doing that and what it is you're looking to develop. You know, what is the progression for the pupils? So for example, it may be that you're looking around about developing global mindsets. You might be looking at transferable skills of language learning between different languages. It might be that you're looking to link to wider learning. It might be that you're looking to link with your school community. So for example, you may have a community of Polish speakers that you want to be able to do something around about Polish language. So there needs to be a really clear rationale around about that. And there are minimum language guidelines, which I'll come to in a short while. But the key thing to know about this is really you need to go beyond just single words. It has to be that the pupils are able to say something meaningful. And you don't necessarily need to do that in one language learning block. They don't need to have a huge amount of progression, but they should be speaking in sentences. They should be going beyond just lists of nouns. That's not how you should be learning the language. We have various resources that we're developing in different languages to support these, and I'll talk about some of these in terms of Spanish. And the idea of these is really to exemplify approaches to how you can develop this and then to give you the key language. Another thing to say about this is it can include a huge range of languages. So we're looking at Spanish today, but it can be Scots as well. It can be British Sign Language. And I would recommend around about 6 weeks minimum for adequate depth of learning in terms of the language. So in terms of how you would organise this, and I would recommend stepping out of your L2 programme in P5, P6 and P7, switching the focus, and you can keep your L2 going in the background, so you can keep your French going in the background with bits and pieces, but you might want to give yourself more time to focus on your L3 language. And you could plan to include this at some point in your year, and like I said previously, maybe linking to your topics is quite a good way of doing this. So picking out a topic that you're going to look at with a particular Spanish theme or link throughout the year. And in line with this, it can be developed thematically, culturally, and I think that's quite a nice approach to do it. So that you look at your wider skills as a teacher. You know, how would you develop a topic, for example, in Mexico or a country comparison, and then bring the language in as part of that. So it's part of a wider learning context, but not the sole focus. Festivals are a really great opportunity for exploring other languages and cultures. So things like Christmas, Easter, and you know, there are thousands of Spanish festivals, so you can research that bit and see what you can find that suits you. And you can use your time over the coming years to explore, experiment, build up your own knowledge of the additional language. You know, it's not something you have to get right first time round. This is a learning process for everybody. And if there are specific themes that you would like developed or you would like support with, then you can always contact me, and I'm happy to try and help in some way that I can. So the minimum expectations around about the language then, so I'd said previously that you need to go beyond just single nouns. And the kinds of things that the children are being expected to do is to deliver simple sentences about themselves. So this might be saying their name, saying their age, saying how are you, saying where they live, saying what they like, they dislike. So it's that kind of thing that we're talking about when we say these simple sentences. And to understand simple spoken text in the language. So this could be part of a short conversation, it could be listening, it could be listening to presentations through PowerPoints, for example, engaging with resources. So kind of short listening activities, but that takes in talking and listening as well. Hold a simple conversation, so for example, simple role plays. And everything that you do in terms of language development really lends itself a lot of the time to simple conversations, because if you're structuring it around about question answer, then you can build that up over time to build up longer conversations. Decode a simple text which contains words they don't know. And again, through using a lot of the resources that we've developed, that gives you an opportunity to present some reading to the pupils with listening, and then for them to be able to work out what things mean themselves. But we're really talking about short reading, simple sentences, but including language that they're not familiar with. And then write a few simple phrases or with support. And again, you can use vocabulary packs for this to help. And it can be replicating what they've used for their talking, for example. So it might be that they're writing sentences about themselves. Hola, me llamo, my name is, I live in, blah, blah, blah. And they could use that for a piece of writing, a piece of talking, and then part of a short conversation. So these skills can all be integrated as well. So we'll look at some ways this can be developed in Spanish. So if you're looking at this thematically, there are points in the year, like I said, the festivals are a really good time for looking at your language development. And La Semana Santa in Spain is a big deal. So some of the festivals in Spain, especially the religious festivals, have huge amounts of activity around about them and lots of customs and traditions. So Easter, La Semana Santa, is a really nice time to explore, and there are resources on the East Lothian website to support with that. Similarly, at Christmas, you might have done Christmas to Death with French, so it can be really nice to switch it up and do it in a different culture, different language, and it gives you a really nice point of comparison to see what are the traditions in different countries, how do they compare with ours as well. And there are lots of great Spanish songs, and Feliz Navidad, of course. Country studies, and if you're looking at, for example, country comparisons, then the Spanish-speaking world is huge, so you've got a lot of countries to pick from, and it's really nice to give pupils the opportunity to pick from different countries as well. And one country which is really popular for people to look at is Mexico. So for example, looking at Mexico as a topic, and of course there are lots of different things you can do around about that, linked to, for example, Day of the Dead, Las Calaveras, so the flower candy skulls, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. I have resources to support with that. So, for example, teaching the parts of the face in Espanol, linking to the colours, drawing, creating flower candy skulls, and then you've got the instructions in Spanish and how to, and then colouring them in. Las vacaciones, so holidays, is also very popular to look at. So it's quite a nice thing to do as well at the end of term. You know, when you're coming to the end of P6 or the end of P5, around about June time, to have a Spanish focus and thinking about holidays, planning a virtual trip to a Spanish country or a Spanish city, researching useful holiday phrases, and kids can go online and just look these up themselves, create a holiday guide to somewhere, you know, put in a bank of useful holiday phrases, and then they can present these in groups to each other as well. And it's really nice to pick out Spanish cities or Spanish countries around the world. So here we have Barcelona, where they can investigate and find out, what are the things they would go and visit, what sort of useful phrases could they use as well. So you can give quite a lot of this over to the pupils in terms of the development of it as well. So some of the aspects of language then that we would maybe usually look at when you would be coming to start a language would be, for example, saying your name. How are you? Greetings, numbers, days of the week, months, the date, likes, dislike, colours, weather. And for each of these things, I mean, they're pretty standard at the start of learning a language. But it makes them really quite tangible to get a hold of from the point of view of the teacher learning them for the first time, because they're quite similar, a lot of them, to the French as well. So if you're beginning to develop an understanding of these with the French, they're quite similar. But, they're quite useful for being able to look and see, well, where could you bring this in with other aspects of the curriculum? So, for example, the colours we talked about already with the flower candy skulls. But in addition to this, I'd be really thinking about culture, customs, stuff that's topic specific. So, for example, your holiday phrases, and food as well. So really thinking about this kind of wider cultural aspect of this, and that's very, very important. I would say it's very important with all language learning, but in some ways with the L3 you've got a bit more space to be able to develop this however you'd like to. So really thinking about these things and how you can look at those in a wee bit more depth. So, and like I said, everything's available on the East Lothian website in the L3 Spanish section, and I will share the link with you as part of this package. So we're going to start with looking at some of the language. So we're going to start with the greetings first of all. And the first one that lots of people will know is the word hola. Hola. And it's really important to remember that the H in Espanol está silente. So it's silent. The H in Spanish is silent. We don't hear it. It's a classic Anglophone mistake to say hola, but it should be hola. Hola, hola, so it's silent. And we have here the double exclamation mark, so you'll see that there's an exclamation mark at the start of this that's upside down. And the reason we have that in Spanish is just to show that there's going to be emphasis in the word. Okay, so it's just to introduce the emphasis in the word. So, hola, hola, perfecto. Okay, let's go, super. So, and then if you want to say hello everybody, hola todos. Hola todos. So if you're talking to your whole class, you can just say hola todos, hola todos. So we had hola, and then hola todos, hola todos. And with Spanish, it's really worthwhile as we're going through this, just listening to what the pronunciation is of the different words, the different letter groupings, and to begin to develop a bit of an awareness of how it's pronounced, because it's a phonetic language, so the pronunciation is consistent. Okay, and then we have buenos días. Buenos días. And you've got two words here, señorita y señora. Señorita meaning miss, señora is like Mrs., madame in French. So buenos días, señorita, buenos días, señora. I mean, you can just take the señorita and señora out if you prefer and just go with buenos días. And when you have an accent, so you'll see on the días here, you've got the accent on the I, and the accent in Spanish indicates the emphasis. So you want to días, días. That's where you would, that's what that would mean in that word. So buenos días, señorita, señora. And the little squiggle on your N, your NU is called, so a little squiggle on the N, it has a sort of like, it's almost like a ñ sound in it. Ñ. Señorita, señora, señorita, señora. Okay, buenos días, señorita. Buenos días, señora. Muy bien. And then for a male teacher, you would say, the pupils could say to you, buenos días, señor. Buenos días, señor. Buenos días, señor. Buenos días. And like I said, you can just take out your señor, your señora, your señorita. You can just get rid of them and just go for simple buenos días. And you can use the buenos días for your todos as well. So if you want to say good day everybody, buenos días todos. Buenos días todos. And if you want to use the Spanish for doing the register in class, the way you would say this is hacemos la lista. Hacemos la lista. And like I'd said before, with hola, the H is silent, and the CE in Spanish is a th sound. Okay, so not in South American Spanish, it isn't quite as, it's more like a th sound, but in Spanish, it's a th sound. So, hacemos la lista. Hacemos la lista. Hacemos la lista. Muy bien. And for the pupils to respond, you could just use hola or buenos dias for them to respond. But if you want to say here or not here, so I am here is estoy aquí. Estoy aquí. And your QU in Spanish is a K sound. Estoy aquí. Like a key in a door. Estoy aquí. Estoy aquí. Hacemos la lista. Estoy aquí. Muy bien. And to say he or she isn't here, you would say no está aquí. No está aquí. Muy bien. And then goodbye in Spanish, adios. And you hear with the accent again, you can hear the emphasis. Adios, adios, adios. Muy bien. And it almost pronounces every letter when you listen to it. Adios, adios. And that's something also to remember about the pronunciation for Spanish. You almost pronounce every letter. And once you know the pronunciation, it's really consistent. It's phonetic, so it's really consistent, and you can apply it consistently. Adios, adios. And then a phrase that lots of people will know already for see you tomorrow, hasta, so silent H, hasta mañana. Hasta mañana. And this literally means until tomorrow. Hasta mañana. And again, we can put in the todos. So if we wanted to say see you tomorrow, everybody, you would just say hasta mañana todos. Hasta mañana. Hasta mañana. Muy bien. And then for have a good weekend, buen fin de semana. Buen fin de semana. Buen fin de semana. Buen fin de semana. Muy bien. So that means good end of week. Buen fin de semana. Perfecto. So let's just do a wee recap on these then. So we've got hola. Hola a todos. Buenos días, señorita. Buenos días, señora. So good day. And for hola and buenos días, you can just choose whichever one you would like to use. So buenos días you would use say up to around about 2 o'clock in Spain. So buenos días. Buenos días, señor. Hacemos la lista. Hacemos la lista. Estoy aquí. No está aquí. Muy bien. Adiós. Hasta mañana. Hasta mañana. Buen fin de semana. Buen fin de semana. Perfecto. So we'll move on now and we'll look at how you would say what is your name. So, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And this means what is your name? And one thing you'll notice here is like the exclamation mark, we have the question mark, which is also upside down at the start of the question. ¿Cómo te llamas? And if you listen to how I'm saying it, this double L here is a Y sound. So it's always a Y sound for the double L. So, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And I quite like to add a wee clap to this. So we would do it, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And it's quite nice doing a wee clap with it. And you can do a little bit of salsa dancing as well. Add that in, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Or just ask the pupils to move around the class, repeating that over and over again with a little clap. So, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Muy bien. ¿Cómo te llamas? And to answer this, the answer is me llamo. Me llamo. Me llamo. And again, the double L is the Y sound. Me llamo. Me llamo. Por ejemplo, me llamo Ann. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ann. And to ask somebody and you, so to avoid maybe having to ask the question again, really nice and easy, y tú, y tú, y tú, y tú. Okay, so a little conversation would maybe go, ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Ann. ¿Y tú? Me llamo blah blah blah. Ah. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo. ¿Y tú? Me llamo. Muy bien. So for some ideas of how you could develop this in class, I'd already mentioned about clapping out the rhythm as you were doing it. So, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? But you can also use this as part of a circle game. So, ¿Cómo te llamas? Around a circle, passing an object, like a toy, for example. And then whoever it lands on has to answer the question, me llamo. And then they could throw the toy to somebody else and say, ¿Y tú? And then they would have to answer me llamo, and then you could repeat again and start going around the circle. But I quite like even just getting the kids to walk around the class, move around, clapping, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And that repetition and the rhythm is a really helpful way to help you to remember something. And then if they repeat, clap, 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 stop, find a partner, and then ask the question, ¿Cómo te llamas? And then they have to respond, me llamo, and then, ¿y tú? Or, ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Y tú? Muy bien. ¿Cómo te llamas? 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 Me llamo. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Y tú te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamo? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? So, let's look now at how you would say, how are you in Spanish? And the way we do this is ¿Qué tal? And I'd already mentioned that the QU is a K sound, so this word here is just ¿Qué? ¿Qué? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? So that's one way you can ask it, but you can also say ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? So you can pick whichever one you would prefer to use. Both of them mean exactly the same thing, so it's entirely up to you which one you decide to use. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? And then for the ways you would respond to this, so the ways that you would respond to this in Spanish are actually really nice. So we'll look at the first one. Fenomenal. Fenomenal, which means obviously fantastic. So, fenomenal. 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 Muy bien. And then we've got muy bien. So you might have heard me saying that a couple of times throughout the presentation. Muy bien. And that just means very good. So muy is very in Spanish. Bien, just like in French, is good. Muy bien. Muy bien. Muy, so it's a muy bien. Muy bien. Ah, muy bien. And if you wanted to add on, you can gracias onto the end of this. And like the CE, CI is a th sound. So, muy bien, gracias. Gracias. Muy bien, gracias. So you can add gracias for thank you onto the end of it. So, very well, thank you. Muy bien, gracias. Muy bien, gracias. And then we have bien. So you could just simply say bien, meaning, yeah, I'm good, well, thanks. Bien. And again, you could add on thank you, so you would just say bien, gracias. Bien, gracias. And then así, así. Así, así. So. Así, así. And then for not very good, we have no muy bien. No muy bien. And Spanish is really nice for making things negative because all you need to do is put a no in front of it. So we had muy bien for very good, but you want to say not very good, it's just no muy bien. No muy bien. And then this lovely phrase, fatal. Fatal. Pretty terrible. Fatal. 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 And just like in Como te llamas y tú, this is and you. Y tú. Y tú. So let's do a quick recap then. So we had ¿Cómo estás? But you could also use ¿Qué tal? For this. And then to say and you, it was y tú. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Y tú? And then we had fenomenal. Fenomenal. And you get a little bit of a shoulder shake on. We say that one. Fenomenal. Fenomenal. Muy bien. Muy bien. Muy bien. Muy bien, gracias. Muy bien, gracias. Bien, gracias. Bien, gracias. Así, así. Así, así. No muy bien. No muy bien. No muy bien. Y fatal. Fatal. Perfecto. So how can you develop these as part of your learning then? So I think a nice way is just to embed these into your daily routine. So for example, when pupils are coming into the classroom, they could have to say how they're feeling. So fenomenal or muy bien gracias. No muy bien, fatal. Hopefully nobody's feeling fatal, but they tend to like to say it. So but just asking as they're going in and out the classroom, you could use it as an exit pass as well. You can also ask pupils to create emojis to express the different feelings and put the phrase on the back of it. So they could actually create little round emoji faces, draw them in, and put the phrase on the back of it, like phenomenal or whatever it might be. And you can use these for feeling checks. So you could use it just throughout the day to do a wee feelings check, or if you were doing, for example, doing the register. And it can be used for short conversations. So it mentioned at the start as well that this was one of the things you were looking to do with L3 was to build in short conversations. So having a short conversation around about, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? So that would count as the beginning short conversation in Spanish. You can also ask them to act out different expressions and for the pupils to work out what the feelings are. And a really nice game to play with feelings is when you use your spinny chair. So the teacher's spinny chair, ask people to come out and sit in that at the front and then spin them round to their face in the back, ask them to put on an expression of one of the feelings. So for example, they could look really super happy if it was phenomenal. And then when you turn them back round, they've got to keep that expression on for the class, and then the class have got to work out what the feeling is. And it's really good fun, that wee game, and it's quite hard to keep a straight face for the pupils when they're playing it, but they really enjoy it. So let's now look at los nombres, the numbers in Spanish. So we've got uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, and again you've got that CI, so it's cinco. Cinco, and the I sound in Spanish is an E, so cinco. Seis, seis. Siete, siete. Ocho, ocho. Nueve, nueve. And the V is a B sound in Spanish, so nueve, nueve. Diez, diez. Let's keep going. So once, once. Doce, doce. Trece, trece. Catorce, catorce. Quince, quince. 16, 16. 17, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20. Like I said, the V is a B sound, so 20. 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, 30, 30. Muy bien. So let's do a quick recap of those numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So when you're developing numbers as part of your learning, there are lots of fun ways you can do this, lots of really great games, and some of the classics like Lotto are actually a fantastic way of just being able to practice the numbers and practice the numbers not in order. Sometimes I think it's quite good to start off with a sequence, so you count through, lots of games to practice counting through, and then move on to something like Lotto where the numbers aren't in order anymore, so they're jumbled up, so they've got to identify each one individually. For counting games, a really good game that kids tend to love is when you hide an object in the room and then they have to find it. So the way you play this is one pupil goes out of the class, you ask another pupil to then hide an object. They hide it somewhere in the class, everyone sees where they're hiding it. Pupil 1 goes out, returns back into the classroom, and then they have to find the object. And to help them, the pupils in the class count either really loudly when they're close to the object or really quietly when they're far away from it. And what I would usually do is if they're counting to 30, for example, we'd count up to 30 and do it 3 times over to give them enough time to find it. It's also really good to do counting as part of your routine, so tidying up, counting down to everybody having to sit down, or just when they're moving about, lining up or whatever it might be. And you can give the pupils the responsibility for counting through as you're doing this as well, so they're actually saying the words as they're tidying or getting ready to line up or whatever it might be. A counting challenge, so just a wee game you can play as well, so you would say any number, so 20 por ejemplo, so 20, and then the pupils would have to find 20 objects, put them onto their tables in their groups, and then the first one to find 20 would win. And to get to when they do that, they've then got to count it through in their group, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah. So they count it through and then they win that round, and then the next round you would shout out 15 and they've got to find 15 objects. Stand and deliver, so this is actually a cooperative activity where you can get them to stand in their groups. So if they were in groups of 4, stand in their groups, and all 4 pupils have to be able to count to whatever number it is you agree on. So for starting off, you might say, okay, 10, so you've got to be all able to count to 10. You could ask them to add actions to this as well if they want to, or do a little rhyme, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can add their own wee rhyme, add actions, and once they've all able to do it, they can all remember them, then they can sit down, and the group that's first to sit down is the group that wins. And then the last thing is songs. YouTube is awash with fantastic songs in Spanish, and numbers are usually really well resourced. So having a look on YouTube or on the 1+2 East Lothian website, where we've got sort of examples of songs, then there are loads of really good songs for counting in Spanish. So I would definitely recommend them for a look at for your class. And so for the last bit of our introduction to Spanish language, we're going to look at some likes and dislikes, how you talk about likes and dislikes. And we will talk about this in the context of la comida mexicana. And the reason we've picked this is because everybody knows and loves Mexican food, I'm sure. So we'll talk about how you would talk about your likes and dislikes for Mexican food. La comida mexicana. So for talking about likes and dislikes, so the phrase for a like is me gusta. Me gusta. And to say I don't like, and like I said before, we just have to put no in the front of it. So it's just no me gusta. No me gusta. So me gusta, no me gusta. No me gusta. If you want to say I don't know in Spanish, it's this phrase that we have here in the middle. No sé. No sé. So me gusta, no me gusta. No sé. No sé. Me gusta, no me gusta. No sé. Muy bien. So, we've got a few objects here. So, te gusta means do you like? So, and this is all for singular objects. So, te gusta, me gusta, I like. No me gusta, I don't like. So, the first one we've got here is te gusta el fútbol. So, to say I like football, you would say me gusta el fútbol. And to say I don't like football, you would say no me gusta el fútbol. Para mí, personalmente, yo no me gusta el fútbol. So I don't really like football. So no me gusta el fútbol. ¿Y tú? ¿Te gusta el fútbol? And then we have ¿te gusta la música? ¿Y tú? ¿Te gusta la música? Yo me gusta la música. Me gusta mucho la música. I really like music. Me gusta mucho la música. ¿Y tú? ¿Me gusta o no me gusta la música? ¿Y te gusta la pizza? ¿Me gusta la pizza o no me gusta la pizza? ¿Te gusta la pizza? ¿No me gusta? Me gusta. Muy bien. So, like I said, we can use me gusta or no me gusta. So let's practice these. ¿Te gusta el fútbol? ¿Me gusta el fútbol? No me gusta el fútbol. Muy bien. ¿Te gusta la pizza? ¿Me gusta la pizza? No me gusta la pizza. So you can choose your response. ¿Te gusta la música? Me gusta la música. No me gusta la música. And again, if you don't know, you can say no sé, no sé. And then when we're talking about plural objects, you have to change this slightly so it's te gustan. So we just add an N onto the end. So te gustan los animales. Te gustan los tomates. Te gustan las patatas fritas. Okay? And then for the same for the me gusta, when it's plural, it becomes me gustan. No me gustan. So in this case here, we've got te gustan las patatas fritas. ¿Me gustan o no me gustan las patatas fritas? ¿Me gustan las patatas fritas? No me gustan las patatas fritas. ¿Te gustan los tomates? ¿Me gustan los tomates? No me gustan los tomates. ¿Y tú? ¿Te gustan los animales? ¿Me gustan los animales o no me gustan los animales? Ok, Okay, so now we can use this. We've got me gusta, no me gusta for singular, me gustan, no me gustan for plural, and for either of these we could always say no sé if you're not sure. No sé. So now let's use these to talk about la comida mexicana, Mexican food. Entonces, ¿te gusta la comida mexicana? ¿Te gusta la comida mexicana? ¿Te gusta el chile con carne? ¿Me gusta el chile con carne? No me gusta el chile con carne. No sé. ¿Te gusta la guacamole? ¿Me gusta la guacamole? No me gusta la guacamole. Yo no sé. No sé. Muy bien. ¿Te gusta la salsa? Me gusta la salsa. No me gusta la salsa. No sé. ¿Te gustan los nachos? ¿Te gustan los nachos? Me gustan los nachos. No me gustan los nachos. No sé. ¿Te gustan los pimientos? ¿Te gustan los pimientos? Me gustan los pimientos. No me gustan los pimientos. No sé. ¿Te gustan las enchiladas? ¿Te gustan las enchiladas? Me gustan las enchiladas. No me gustan las enchiladas. No sé. ¿Te gustan las fajitas? ¿Te gustan las fajitas? Me gustan las fajitas. No me gustan las fajitas. No sé. ¿Te gustan los tacos? Me gustan los tacos. Me gustan los tacos. No me gustan los tacos. No me gustan los tacos. No sé. So that is us for the presentation on an introduction to L3 Spanish. I hope you found that useful. There's been a lot of language that we've covered in there. So we've covered greetings, hola, buenos dias, and goodbyes, adios. We've covered numbers, 1 to 30. We've covered how to say what your name is, how to ask somebody their name, ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo. And we've also covered how you are, saying ¿Cómo estás? O ¿Qué tal? Fenomenal, muy bien, gracias, etc. And la comida, et les opinions, so and opinions. So, me gusta, no me gusta. So lots of different language in there, but hopefully that has been helpful for you in beginning to get started with L3 Español. Y muchas gracias. Adiós. Adiós.